Hey everybody, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today I wanted to shoot a quick video with some tips on quick and dirty photography for shooting pictures of your Gunpla. We get a lot of submissions for our spotlight on the Mecha Warehouse social media pages. I'll post that link down in the description and at the bottom of the screen here. We get a lot of pictures that are great, and we also get pictures that could use some work, and I want to give you guys some tips to hopefully help you improve your game on your photography so you can get better pictures, which I think helps everybody. So let me know after watching this down in the comments what you thought, and here we go. All right, everybody, let's get into the meat of this. So fundamentally, there are four main things that you should take into consideration for improving your Gunpla photography in a quick and dirty way. So those four things are posing, lighting, focus, and composition. So let's go over them one at a time here. So number one is posing. So if you look at this kit, I've got it in a very rigid pose. I see pictures like this all the time. If you look from the side here, everything's really rigid. Sometimes these knees will go almost completely like hyperextended. It really takes away from things because naturally we as humans don't stand that way. No, I'm not a 16 meter tall robot or whatever, but there's a lot of similarities there. So very simple level, things like bending joints, turning knees a little bit, bending elbows, trying to get a more natural pose. Even if we want a standing pose, we can get a much more natural pose with a little bit of knee bend, a little bit of shape and character, but adding a good pose to your kit will go quite a long way. If you have trouble coming up with good poses, manuals, box art, screen grabs from the anime or manga, those will go a long way to giving you some ideas for how to pose a kit. Around a little bit so you can kind of see. So getting all that right is important. This high grade goof, a little bit harder to get the knees really locked out so it doesn't look quite as bad in a standing pose, but again, playing with some of the angles a little bit and trying to get a more natural pose, again, goes a really long way in making the kit just more visually appealing and makes for a much better photograph. So that's one. Number two is lighting. The most important rule with lighting is never use your flash. Doing photography of Gunpla is going to result in those really crappy pictures you see where there's a lot of glare, everything's kind of shiny. While a matte coat will kind of eliminate that or at least minimize it, we don't want to take flash photos of our kits. It's important when we take that picture though, when we think about lighting, we really want to make sure that the kit is lit well from the front. So as I rotate this around here in space, I've got the overhead light on and I've also got a light for the shoot here. So I turn off my light back here first. Everything's gonna get darker. I'm gonna turn off my work light here. And you'll notice this is a lot worse. So I'm gonna take a picture here so you get a good example. Right, so that's not quite as good. Using the overhead, that in itself does a lot to make the kit look better on camera. Now, ideally that light comes from the front. So as I move this forward and backwards and take pictures of it, get right in there and get a good shot and change the light being in the front or in the back, you're going to notice a huge difference in how well that kit is lit. So if you have access to some sort of light, that can go a long way. We turn over the overhead here and just use the light for filming. That actually comes out pretty good too. So as a general rule, try not to backlight. Try to make sure there's adequate light. You can play with the angles of the light a little bit to get different effects, and that can look quite cool in my opinion. Number three is focus. Now focus is really important, even going so far as I had to reshoot this because I apparently screwed it up on the camera that's recording this video, so hopefully I don't screw it up this time. If you're using a phone, this is my Pixel 3. I do a lot of my own personal photography with this, or I at least have. I'm going to be playing with cameras more often. You can usually set focus by selecting part of the image to focus on. And I'm not sure if you can see this, so let's snap some pictures so we can superimpose them. If I get the focus way up here, up front, I think that can look super cool to have something focused in front, like the gun in front of the blurry suit, or focusing deeper onto the suit itself and having the gun be kind of blurry in front. And you can even go so far as to focus on the suit behind it and have the whole suit in front be out of focus. So changing where that focus lies really changes up what that picture looks like. If you look at any of the photos I post on my personal Instagram, one of the things I like to play with, especially on kits with big long weapons that you can kind of get way out there in front, I think it gets an interesting look. Number 4, composition. So composition of the picture. So what I mean by that is when we put multiple kits together, we can create something interesting, but perhaps more importantly for our purposes here, talking about the background itself. So if I put this back kind of front and center here, putting something behind it can really change that picture and help get you a nicer picture, especially if you've got a cluttered work surface or a place to take pictures like I do. Taking that picture with something in the background to kind of block that can look really cool. So in this case, I'm just using the manual. Inside of the manual can work too. I've done that for some awesome pictures, boxes, box art. Some people put up cutting mats, using an eraser and a Mr. Mark Setter bottle to hold things in place. But that, to me, gets a very, very nice kind of look there. In summary, there were four quick and dirty tips for photography here. We want to make sure the kit is posed well. We want to make sure the lighting's good. We want to make sure that focus, we at least pay attention to where that focus is and even play with it. And then composition, what's going behind it? Where is that kit? Taking that picture in the middle of your kitchen might not result in the coolest look. Taking it on your workbench, or even better yet, in a light box if you have one. We'll talk about some more advanced tips in a future video perhaps. Thank you all for watching. Please post down in the comments what you thought of the video. Let me know what you got from it, if anything. And if you've got your own tips, if you're a master of Gunpla photography, please post them down in the comments too so we can help everybody out. Please like if you got something from this video, and of course subscribe and hit that little notification bell. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.